In the previous section, we examined the purpose of a deed of trust as a security instrument, emphasizing how it protects the lender's interest in real property, while allowing borrowers to retain equitable ownership. Once a borrower fulfills the loan obligation, however, that security interest must be formally released so the borrower can hold clear, unencumbered title. This process, known as reconveyance, is critical to restoring full ownership rights and ensuring the property's title reflects that the debt has been satisfied. When a borrower completes all payments on a loan secured by a deed of trust, the lender, referred to as the beneficiary, must instruct the trustee to release the lien. The trustee does this by executing a deed of release and reconveyance, which transfers the legal title back to the borrower, truster, and officially removes the lien from public record. The reconveyance process is not automatic. It requires proper documentation, coordination among the lender, trustee, and title company, and compliance with statutory requirements set forth under ARS, paragraph 33-707 and paragraph 33-820.
The process begins when the borrower makes the final loan payment or fulfills all conditions of repayment. Once the lender confirms satisfaction of the debt, the lender sends written instructions and the original note and deed of trust to the trustee, authorizing them to issue and record the deed of reconveyance. The trustee then prepares the document, signs it, and records it with the county recorder in the county where the property is located. Recording serves as public notice that the property is now free of the lender's lien.
For example, imagine that Samantha purchases a home in Chandler, financed through a local bank. She makes her monthly payments faithfully over 30 years until the loan is completely paid off. Upon her final payment, the lender sends a request to the trustee to reconvey the property. The trustee executes a deed of release and reconveyance, which is then recorded with the Maricopa County Recorder's Office. Once recorded, Samantha now holds the property free of encumbrances, and the lender's claim is fully extinguished. Arizona law protects borrowers by requiring lenders and trustees to act promptly in completing this process. Under ARS, paragraph 33-707, if the lender fails to deliver a deed of release and reconveyance within 30 days after receiving full payment, the lender can be held liable for damages and penalties. This provision ensures that borrowers do not face delays in obtaining clear title or refinancing opportunities due to administrative negligence. The deed of reconveyance itself contains several essential components. Identification of the original deed of trust by recording number and date. Confirmation that the debt has been fully paid or satisfied. Statement of reconveyance. Transferring legal title from the trustee back to the truster. Signatures of the trustee and acknowledgement before a notary public. Recording details and notarization to make the reconveyance legally binding and public. Once recorded, the deed of reconveyance effectively releases the lender's security interest, meaning the lien no longer burdens the property. The borrower's ownership is now complete and absolute, sometimes referred to as fee simple ownership. Escrow and title companies often facilitate this process to ensure that all documentation is complete and properly recorded at the close of escrow. They verify that the lender has provided payoff confirmation, ensure the trustee's execution of the reconveyance, and deliver the recorded document to the borrower after closing. Practical example. Suppose Robert refinances his mortgage with a new lender. His previous lender, Desert Valley Bank, must issue a deed of reconveyance to release its lien before the new lender records a new deed of trust. If Desert Valley Bank delays issuing the reconveyance, Robert's new loan cannot close, as title must show that all prior encumbrances have been cleared. This illustrates the vital role reconveyance plays in maintaining the flow and integrity of real estate transactions. Case example, Lane Title and Trust Covey Brannon, 1968. In this Arizona Supreme Court case, the court clarified the fiduciary responsibilities of trustees in handling reconveyances. The court held that trustees must act promptly and in accordance with the terms of the deed of trust. Once the lender certifies satisfaction of the debt, failure to reconvey the property timely could result in legal liability for negligence or breach of fiduciary duty. Discussion. Why is a deed of reconveyance necessary after a loan secured by a deed of trust is paid off? Answer. Because it formally releases the lender's lien, transfers legal title back to the borrower, and ensures that the property's title is free of encumbrances. What happens if a lender fails to issue a deed of reconveyance within the required time after full payment? Answer. The lender may be held liable for damages and penalties under Arizona law for failing to clear the lien promptly. Who is responsible for recording the deed of reconveyance, and why is recording important? Answer. The trustee records the deed of reconveyance with the county recorder's office to provide public notice that the lien has been released and title has been returned to the borrower. Review summary. When a borrower satisfies a loan secured by a deed of trust, the lender must instruct the trustee to issue a deed of release and reconveyance. This legal document confirms the debt has been paid and releases the lien from public record, transferring full legal title back to the borrower. Under ARS, paragraph 33-707 and paragraph 33-820, lenders and trustees are required to complete and record the reconveyance promptly, typically within 30 days. The recorded deed of reconveyance serves as public proof that the property is free of encumbrances, allowing the borrower to sell, refinance, or retain ownership without restriction. Failure to complete this process timely may result in penalties or legal consequences. Arizona courts, such as in Lane Title and Trust Conta v. Brannon, have reinforced the trustee's fiduciary obligation to ensure proper and timely reconveyance.